Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is current year. It is 2022, just. And the crazy does not give up. The crazy does not have a break for Christmas or New Year's. By the way, happy Christmas and Merry New Year's, all that sort of jazz. Today we're having a look at this because I saw Isaac Butterfield talk about it. And it's really relevant to crazy current year. Norwegian actress Tonje Gjevjon faces up to 3 years in prison for saying that men cannot be lesbians. Now, I don't see a problem with this statement. Men cannot be lesbians because the definition of lesbian is a chick who likes other chicks. And no matter which position you attack it from, missionary, doggy style, scissor, it does not make sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chewbacca. Chewbacca is a Wookiee from the planet Kashyyyk, but Chewbacca lives on the planet Endor. Now think about that. That does not make sense.
Like, let's just put ourselves in the mindset of a crazy LGBTQIA++123ABC person, and they will fully concede that a man can become a woman, and therefore can become a lesbian. But said man has to become a woman first. So even by these crazy woke standards, a man cannot be a lesbian. That man has to be a woman first, has to become a woman first. And then that man can be a lesbian, because that man's a woman, you know? Logic. Anyway, we shall have a further look right after this quick sponsor. Friends, at any moment, somewhere around the world, the next shoe is going to drop. What if there's sudden food shortages that last for weeks or months? Do you have enough food on hand to feed your family when grocery store shelves are completely empty? If not, take our advice and go to foodwithbear.com. You'll find a special offer from My Patriot Supply, America's largest preparedness company. They're slashing $100 off their 4-week emergency food kit. This kit provides delicious, easy-to-make breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks and snacks for 4 weeks per person. You don't only save $100, but your order ships fast and free and arrives in unmarked boxes for your privacy. So go to foodwithbear.com and get your emergency food supply today. Now, some of the names in this article are just impossible, so you're going to have to bear with me. But Norwegian filmmaker and actress Tonje Gjevjon is facing 3 years in prison for allegedly violating her country's hate speech laws. A woman in Norway is facing up to 3 years in prison on criminal hate speech charges after saying that a man cannot become a lesbian. Tonje Gjevjon, a lesbian filmmaker and actress, was informed on November the 17th that she was under investigation for speaking out against prominent Norwegian activist Christine Jentoft on Facebook. Jentoft is a transgender female that often refers to herself as a lesbian mother. Well, let me tell you, Jentoft, and we're back out of that LGBT cult mindset now. You are not a lesbian. You are a man in a dress who likes chicks. You have a fetish, and that's fine. Have all the fetishes you want, but you're not a lesbian. Jentoft previously accused another woman, Christina Ellingsen, of transphobia for a similar claim. Ellingsen is also under investigation and faces 3 years in jail if found guilty. The post on Gjevjon's Facebook page under investigation reads, "It's just as impossible for men to become a lesbian as it is for men to become pregnant. Men are men regardless of their sexual fetishes." Yes, exactly. It's called, I heard this term, autogynephilia. It's where like men get horny when they think of themselves as chicks. Like if they put a dress on, they look at themselves in the mirror and go, "Oh, you're sexy. I'd do you. I'd totally bang you." And to put it plainly, I think a large percentage of transgender men or women, quote unquote, just have autogynephilia. I mean, there is such a thing as sexual dysmorphia or gender dysphoria. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I truly think a lot of transgender men or women just have sexual fetishes. Anyway, the article goes on. Gjevjon said that she intentionally posted her Facebook message to draw attention to Norway's hate speech laws. Gjevjon's comments appear to be under investigation for falling under a 2020 amendment to the country's penal code that added gender identity and gender expression under protected categories from hate speech. People found guilty of hate speech face a fine or up to 1 year in prison for private remarks and a maximum of 3 years for public comments. Now, wait a sec. Private remarks? What does that mean? Is a private remark me saying something to someone else in private? I mean, if they could prove that I was driving along in my car by myself and I said, "Men can't be lesbians," if they could somehow prove that, could I get 1 year in jail? And isn't that thought crime? I mean, if I think something and I say it to myself in private and that's criminally prosecuted, that is thought crime. I'm verbally expressing my thoughts to myself. And that's a criminal act now? Good God, help us all. Women's rights activists, including the Women's Declaration International Norway, of which Ellingsen is a representative, have claimed that the amendment undermined free speech and expression in the country. Oh, you don't say. This is not the first time that Gjevjon has spoken out on controversial topics surrounding gender and women's rights. Last year, Gjevjon confronted Annette Trettebergstuen, whatever,
Tretbergstuen,
Norway's Minister of Culture and Reality. Norway's Minister of Culture and Reality. They need a minister for reality. The lesbian has a cock. It's reality. Now you shut your fucking mouth, bigot. Claiming that misconstruing gender identity and biological sex has harmful and discriminatory implications for women, especially lesbians. Will the Equality Minister take action to ensure that lesbian women's human rights are safeguarded by making it clear that there are no lesbians with penises? This is clown world. That males cannot be lesbians regardless of their gender identity, and by tidying up the mess of the harmful gender policies left behind by the previous government, Gjevjon asked. I do not share an understanding of reality where the only two biological sexes are to be understood as sex. Gender identity is also important, Trettebergstuen replied.
Tretbergstuen.
The first discrimination charge in Norway that centred on gender identity was filed in 2018. The case centred on a transgender woman who complained that she was asked not to shower in the women's locker room at a sports centre, according to female-led news organisation Redux. Similar cases have cropped up across Europe, including Finland, where a religious freedom case saw tensions rise between free speech and LGBTQIA++123 advocates. In March, Finnish Member of Parliament, oh my God, Päivi Räsänen, I'm going to have to look that up.
Päivi Räsänen.
And Lutheran Bishop Johanna Pohjola were acquitted of all charges in their case. Räsänen
Päivi Räsänen
faced 3 charges of ethnic agitation for a 2004 pamphlet, for taking part in a discussion on a radio show in 2019, and most recently for tweeting a picture of the Bible. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Tweeting a picture of the Bible is hate speech. In a 2019 tweet,
Päivi Räsänen
questioned her church's sponsorship of an LGBTQ pride event and linked to an Instagram post with a picture of Romans 1:24-27, which calls same-sex intercourse shameful.
Now you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Pohjola faced 1 count of ethnic agitation for hosting a pamphlet written by
Päivi Räsänen
on his church's website, similarly critical of gay men and women. So that's it. Free speech is fucked in Norway. You've got to agree with whoever's in power, otherwise you are hateful and you are a criminal and you're going to jail. Go fuck yourself. Norway is considered one of the most liberal countries in Europe for LGBTQIA++123 individuals, even allowing people to legally change their gender without the need for a medical diagnosis. Well, that is clown world. That is crazy. I knew 2022 would just keep giving right up until the last. Good on you. But I mean, that's where they're going. If you can't utter something in the privacy of your own home without being a criminal, what's next? There's only one place to go. You can't think that thing. Thought crime is real, and 2023 is going to be interesting. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments, leave them down below or at my super duper gay half step brother-in-law's Twitter account, bskills with 3 L's. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta. Goodbye.
Recession, recession. Give me better times, give me better times. Recession.